they have like several churches separated, many different ways. But then here, we got two campuses, only one church, which is good, right? All right, I want to start with a simple question. Sometimes we might have come across to a question like, is God abandoned us? That kind of thing might happen to, when we are in a trial that happened in our life. So sometimes we might ask ourselves that, is God really there when I need the most? Why is not answering my prayer? Why he didn't keep me, safe? Why he let me suffer from this pain? And is he really there? And then if you just keep asking yourself, the list kind of goes on and on. But what we have to remember is, God does everything in his own time. And he has his own purpose of it. He made the call, we don't get to make the call. And I can assure that he's always there. He's always is. He always will, and he will always has been. Summer 2008, road trip. That was when I was in, I believe, high school. I have arrived in university in 2017 and 2018. That's when we tried to plan a road trip, where I believe we're all from refugee camp. And we see a movie, some of the movies, we might see, a young group of people, they gather together and then they go on a road trip. It's kind of fun, right, when you look at it. So, on summer 2008, after school, our school is off, around in June, July, that's when we plan to go on a road trip. Group of us, I think it's 14 or 16 of them. So we talked about it, and then we gather out and come to agreement that, okay, we'll do it. We're gonna go on a road trip. It's gonna be fun. It's only gonna be, us, teenager, and a couple of young adults. So we talked about it, we come to agreement, we gather food, the floating things. We're gonna go to Lake Canyon. I don't know if you guys know Lake Canyon. It's just right behind above South River. It's roughly 45 to 1 hour drive from here. So we get there, we gather together, and then we try to figure out the transportation, because there was transportation was kind of rare. Even though I haven't driven yet, so in 2008, it's kind of rare to get a transportation. But then we figured it out, and then we got 4 cars. We got 4 cars, and then I believe there was 16 people. And then finally, we're packing, and then we loaded all the stuff, food, and everything that we're gonna spend the day over there. And then finally, around 11 a.m., we get to leave. And then it took about 45 minutes, an hour, as I said earlier. We get there around 12:15. And that's the perfect time to swim. So by the time we get there, we unpacked everything. And then we just jump right into the lake. We spent, right into the lake, we spent about an hour or so. And then, we come back, we take a little break, and then we eat and share, and we jump right back in again. And then around 2 or 3 or 4 p.m., that's where we are unpacking everything, and then we get ready to head home. Where everything's go as a plan, perfectly fine. We plan to go there, eat, chill, and then play, and then when it comes to coming home, that's when the tragedies happen. On our way home, because it was a long day, so I feel a little bit of headache and then dizziness. So I decided not to put my seatbelt on. And the same thing does my wife, we don't have a seatbelt on. So on our way back home, that's when the accidents happened. There was no other people, it just one of the car there, I was in it, and then the other friend who we were going the same, road trip. They bumped into each other, they tried to get the same lane, and then we just crashed. It acts the speed limit of 65 to 70 per mile per hour. That could kill you twice, if you think about it. But then it didn't. It could kill you, but then it didn't. About why? And I know right away that God is there. You know, me and my wife, we sit in the back seat. Once everything goes black. And then after I opened my eye, I saw a sky and a boat. And I was like, I get confused. You know, I try to look around and see what's surrounding me. And I saw my wife, you know, from a distance. You know, I kept thinking, wait, why are you there? And then later on, she also looked for me. And then finally she found me and then she ran it over to me. I tried to get up, but I couldn't. My entire body was numb. That's when I realized, oh, I'm on the concrete, on the street. And at first I thought she's the one who got tossed out of the car and flew over the other freeway, but then it was me who flew over to the other freeway, which you know the one who come. There's two different freeways, you know, there's goes and then come back. So I was flying out of the car and then all the way to the other side of the freeway. And then when I looked into my Wi-Fi, she was terrified. She's nervous, panicking when asking for me. She tried to call me so that I can respond to her. Well, for me, because I didn't know what it feels like anymore, so I just, yeah, I'm okay, it's okay. I'm good, but then maybe if I can see my face, if I can see myself, I'm probably gonna terrify and then just not, black out. Because my entire face was messed up. My forehead was cracked open. And then when I get to the hospital, I got more than 16 stitches. So if you look closer, this entire day was just because of the accident. And then moments later on, my brothers, Nikki, and then my sister Emily arrived to the scene. My sister Podah was in the other car, so I was always worried about my family. So I was asking my wife, where's Podah? Where's she at? Is she okay? Instead of asking myself, I was asking for her and my wife. So it's like, don't worry about them. Just keep calm and then stay there. But I was worried about it. I tried to get up, but then I couldn't get up because of the entire this thing, it just wouldn't let me do anything anymore. But there's one thing that I couldn't understand is, instead of my sibling and my wife to motivate me, encourage me, I was the one who tried to motivate them to be okay. I was like, it's kind of one of the, I don't understand, but I try to tell them, hey, it's okay. And I big old smiles to them and say, hey, it's all right, I'm okay. Even though it's all bloody and also, I'm okay. I feel the power of the Holy Spirit there. That is when I didn't feel any pain. But then it's just the only reason that I couldn't move. Then all of a sudden I heard somebody pray in the background. I don't know who, I don't know where, I don't know where she's from, but then later when we all after we get out of the hospital, Podah told me there was an African lady that was praying. So there's a confirmation for me, personally, that I'm not alone. It's just not him that was there, it's also his people, his creation. Moving on, there's a lot of people, helping out, because the car was upside down and the passengers still in the car. So they try to help out, and there's a lot of people there, all smoke, car, and everything. Long story short, the ambulance has arrived, and we'll be transported to a hospital safely. Well, the funny thing about the ambulance is, when you got a car accident like that, I don't know what stage it is, but when you're in a car accident, they will cut off all your clothes and you'll be left naked. But then, when you're in that position, you don't really care. They cut off all of my pants and my clothes and then, underwear and everything, and just they take it off and toss it away. And now I go wild out for like 5 to 10 seconds. But yeah, they cover me up. This is one of the things that is kind of amusing, that kind of particular sin. But we get there. We get to the hospital safely, and then I spent about 3 days in there, and then finally I got released. In that tragedy, there's another thing that happened that I couldn't think of, but then I had to. Is when the car was rolling, and my wife was flying out the window, probably 10, 15 yards away. My older daughter Esther was 4 months old, pregnant. It's mommy womb. But then, when they get to the hospital, doctors checked everything. They want to make sure the baby's okay and everything. It turned out nothing's happened. 4 months, 4.5 months, and I got tossed out of the window at speeds of 65 to 70 miles per hour. If that is not a God work, I don't know what else could it be. Well, right now, Esther was 10 years old. She's big, beautiful, and healthy. And I'm blessed and happy. The tragedy that happened that day, if I recall it correctly, all 8 of us doesn't even have a broken bone. No pacemaker, nothing need to be done. You look at around you, when accident, around the corner, it could be, somewhere here or anything. Just 45 miles per hour could kill somebody. 30 miles per hour can damage a lot of things. 65 to 70 miles per hour don't do anything. Because he's there, and you're not alone. I am not alone. So therefore, the question earlier, back to what I was saying, if that kind of question have come to mind, like you feel abandoned, or you feel left out, or you feel like God's not helping you, or answering your prayer, I want you to look around you and see who are these people. You got your family, you got your friend, you got your loved one, more importantly, you got your church. You got your church. That's one of the things that I want to remind you that if you feel abandoned by God, please remind yourself that God created earth and heaven and then light. He does everything is in His time. So the only thing you have to remind yourself is just don't question it. God, He will do it. He will be there, and He does everything in His own way. So, last but not least, I want to tell you guys that God is there since the beginning, and you will never be alone. There's a Bible verses I want to leave you guys with. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. No temptation hath overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. Well, that was kind of crazy, isn't it? That was about it. That's all I have for now. But then I have a song that I want to share with you guys, and the title is I'm Not Alone. could also sing a lot if you want to. It's an easy song.